What's up, YouTube? It's Melissa Hurt, and I'm here in this video to share with you the top 3 reasons on why we procrastinate and give you tips on how to stop doing it. You may feel like this woman. You have the best intentions. You've got work to do, and this work is important. But instead, when you sit down at your laptop, you're not getting right at it. You're surfing the web. You're checking Facebook. Maybe you're checking your phone. You're doing anything but doing the work itself. And it's a nagging feeling. It's pulling at you. So you put your head down and you say, how am I going to get this done? Why do we procrastinate when we know that productivity feels so good? Well, I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons on why we do it. And the third one might surprise you. So stay tuned to catch what that is. The first one is the suffering quotient. What the heck is a suffering quotient? Well, this is when your mind self-sabotages you. Now, stay with me here. Your brain and your mind, and they are technically 2 different things. Your brain is an organ. Your mind lives through your whole body. Your brain and your mind work really hard to maintain a status quo. There's a homeostasis and a balance of what your experience in your life is. There's a certain level of success that you're used to. There's a certain standard of living that you're used to. There's a certain emotional through line that you're used to. But when you're on the brink of doing something great, you might distract yourself from working on the thing as a means to holding yourself back. This is self-sabotaging to maintain the suffering quotient. That status quo is maintaining a certain level of, quote, suffering, because even though you wish for greatness, you wish for more, you are holding yourself back to stay in that status quo. The second reason why people procrastinate is called the intention-action gap. So what happens is when you did something in the past, you put your best work forward, and the outcome of that past action did not match up to what your intention was going into it. Your expectation going into it was not met with the actual outcome. You feel discouraged. Maybe you feel angry. You feel resentful. That makes you drag your feet and you think, oh, why should I sit down and do this thing when the outcome isn't going to meet up at all with what it really should be? So what happens is that there becomes a gap between the intention and the action. And that is filled with procrastination. You're dragging your feet. Things are moving, and then it stops because you're stopping yourself really as a means to protect your energy so you don't, quote unquote, feel like you're wasting it on something that's not going to yield the results you want. But here's the thing. A lot of people think that they need to start a project with a really clear intention, but you don't. I'm going to get to how you resolve that a little bit later. The third reason, and this is the one that might be surprising because it's probably the most common, you're plain and simple burned out. You're burned out, and here's why. Your inner teenager is rebelling. I bet you are a high achieving professional. I bet you are very smart. I bet you've done a lot of schooling, certifications, all kinds of professional development. You've been proving yourself time and time again. The project you did in the past was great, so the next one had to be better. You're constantly leveling up in what you bring into the world. But here's where I need you to check in with yourself. Are you burning the candle at both ends to get it all done? Have you used up all of your creative energy and you need a break to restore yourself? Because I wonder if you're procrastinating because in your deepest heart of hearts, you are just plain tired and your tank is empty and you just don't have the gas to fuel the next project at the time. I have a solution for that too. So what do you do with all of this? If you feel like the suffering quotient, that self-sabotaging behavior is your reason for procrastinating, what I want you to do, and here's why you have your notebook, Identify the importance of the project that you need to work on and what it means to your highest good. Your highest good, meaning your best self on your best day. Maybe it's an image of yourself where you are dynamic, your path is paved with gold, your relationships are beautiful and meaningful, and you're influential and impactful. That's your highest good. We all have a highest good. So identify what the project means for that. What's at stake for you with this particular project? Is this the project that could really illuminate that path to your highest good? Is it a project where people can see you as that highest good, which might be a slightly different way of seeing you from how they normally see you? Maybe they see you as competent and kind and smart person, but with this project, they're going to see you as extraordinary. And there's a fear of, oh my gosh, but what is that going to bring on for me? What's at stake for you with this particular project? And why is that important? Now, once you identify that, this will help you identify how you're about to surpass your status quo. And that should feel exciting. It should feel exciting to do something great, to break through and come into a new level, a new way of expressing yourself in the world and who you are, how you are, and what your talents are. So then what you do is you tell the suffering quotient to simmer down, sit back, because you're moving forward. You are driving the car. The suffering quotient and that expression of fear, which we're calling procrastination, is going to sit in the back and it will not touch the radio. You're going to move forward and you're going to do the thing with the wind blowing in your hair because it is your destiny. Okay? And when you know better, you do better. I'm taking Oprah's words here. When you know better, you do better. So if you know the suffering quotient is hitting you, you put a name to it, you can surpass it. If you feel like that inspiration, intention, action gap is hitting you because you're dragging your heels from an outcome that didn't meet your expectation, first of all, you need to make peace with past efforts via the practice of non-attachment. Don't attach yourself to what you've done in the past, who you've been in the past, because we are a new person every day. Your cells are regenerating every day. You have new thoughts and new experiences every day. Every day you are essentially a new person. And so make peace with what you've done in the past. Don't let it attach to your ego and define who you are and how you are. Be present with what's before you now. That's part one. And part two, know that you don't need to start with inspiration to get started on a project. Some people feel like they have to have the muse kiss you on the forehead for you to get the bright idea and get moving on the work. This loop here shows how you can really start anywhere. Usually what happens is we have inspiration, we start to work on something, it starts to become something. So then we come into motivation, and that motivation fuels us and we keep putting in the work and the time and the effort. And then we start to feel satisfied with it. We get excited. We get that emotional reaction. And that emotional reaction keeps us inspired to keep moving with the thing. Now, that's a beautiful experience that I hope all of us have had and continue to have in our lifetime. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Inspiration is not always waiting for you. You can start with the emotional reaction. You can start with, I cannot wait to feel proud of myself for knocking out that spreadsheet or whatever the thing is. The emotional reaction and truly feeling it in your body can bring about inspiration to move forward and get it started, which can then propel motivation. Or you can start with motivation. Quite frankly, you just sit down and you do it. You slog through it. That can bring about emotional reaction because as you're slogging through it, you're putting words on the page. Words on the page become paragraphs, become pages, become chapters. It all adds up. And once it starts to add up, it can bring about that emotional reaction of, being pleased with your work, feeling satisfied that you're moving through it, which can then summon inspiration. It can start anywhere. You can start anywhere. Give yourself the permission slip to start anywhere. Just start. And then lastly, if this is your inner teenager rebelling and saying, nope, I am not doing anything else, then you simply need to rest and restore. We know what happens when you yell at a teenager and tell them to do it anyway. A massive fight will probably ensue. Instead, give yourself permission to take a break and charge your battery. You have to. You only have so much to share with the world, and the world needs you to take care of yourself so we can enjoy being with you and you can enjoy being with the world. So I want you to take one afternoon off to unplug. That means no devices. You need to give your brain a break from backlit devices and too much stimulation so that you can recharge your mind greatly. How do you do that? Well, take a walk outside. Nature has beautiful sensorial experiences waiting for you. Trees, birds, colors, smells, sounds. Be in nature. Look at an art book. Sometimes I'll lay on my stomach like I'm 4 years old and just flip pages through one of those coffee table art books. And I'll just wonder, how did Van Gogh do that? How did Degas do that? And just practicing wonder and enjoying beauty can be really restorative. Take a nap, no more than 45 minutes, but take a nap. And doing gentle yoga is a wonderful way to restore yourself. And I've got tons of gentle yoga practices on my channel. So be sure to subscribe and you can go through them and they will pull up for you as you search for gentle yoga on my channel. So in short, high achieving professional, person watching this video who has the best intentions, know yourself, love yourself, and get started on your next best step. I hope that one of those really landed on you. Maybe all three of them did. Do the work, check in, see where you are, and seriously, move forward. We need your gifts. We need you to feel great so you can do great things. Leave a comment on this video on how this landed on you. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and certainly subscribe to my channel to get the next of my best content to help you become clear, productive, and influential.